this tweet out to the masses. How do you? Is it pre-season like that, right? Okay, yeah, it is. All right, what's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36. And this is Big Games BS, brought to you by Den Media Group. Den Media Group is about to put a lot of content out. Technically, it's just me doing a lot more shit, but we'll have my boy CJ. We'll have Trey's perspective. We'll have a Gator Bowl report. We'll have a whole bunch of other stuff that's coming up. But before I get into the sponsors, and we play some of these, the little things that go with it. I got a question. I just was perusing through my Twitter, right? And because this is an equal opportunity, this is a World of Nations type of not podcast. Podcast is disrespectful. I don't know what this is. Whatever we call this. We have a lot of people from a lot of different ways of life. Insert whatever old school group that you like. I don't know if it's like, Rob Van Zant. I don't know a country. What's Garth Brooks? No, Garth Brooks is too much of an icon. Anyways, this lady put out on the tweet that that a guy canceled their date to go and see SWV in concert. SWV is Sisters with Voices, an iconic 1990s R&B group. They them sisters could sing. One of the first songs that got them on there was a song called Weak. Now, it's not for an NFL playoff game, not for any just real deal big games. Matter of fact, it's at BF Lair, I guess BF, I don't know what the hell. I invited this man to a football game with me and he canceled so he can go to see SWV instead. The streets fucked up, man. Women phrase shit to always look like they're going, to make them the victim. She seems like the victim in this. Everything about this tweet initially makes you want to be like, damn, buddy really just dropped her for SWV for a football game. But then the male logic hit me. It's fucking August. There's no real football being played. And there's so many other things that are left out, details that are left out. And a lot of them, and what I'm happy about, because the first thing women do is they go attack our masculinity. Oh, you sassy. You want to go to an R&B concert. Ooh, baby, you want to get your hair did too? Maybe. But as a woman, why would you not want to go to it's not just SWV either. She left out a really major component. It's Sisters with Voices, an iconic 90s group with the most iconic 90s band. And arguably the early 2000s most iconic band, at least the end of the millennium, early 2000s. It was SWV with Jodeci and Drew Hill. Jodeci, who some of us, or some of the people in this chat have either made kids to, or were made to that song, to that music. Drew Hill, a group that made every man who has no rhythm immediately get rhythm because they could do that bounce thing. Tell me what you want. I can just do all that for a preseason football game. For me to go see a fourth string quarterback who's going to get cut on Monday. You goddamn right I'm missing that for that concert. That concert fucking lit. No woman no man likes football that much. So I know she ain't that big of a fan. Sorry to but the men came in with full strength in the comments, in the quote tweets. They put my man put the Burns of the Montgomery Burns, not Montgomery Burns. What is that his name from The Simpsons? But I guess it was a picture of him in the rain, like this. He's like, rain down, and I can say this because everybody has that group that or a singer. Like mine was Anita Baker. And Anita Baker's now, she was doing a residency in Vegas. But around like 2018 to 2019? I think it was early 2019, like March of 2019. Anita Baker said that she was no longer going to go on tour. So she was doing the farewell tour. And she came to Jacksonville. And when I found out she was coming to Jacksonville, I stopped everything that I was doing. I bought tickets to go see Anita Baker. I tried to get as close I could. I was going to throw my draws at Anita Baker. Anita Baker's voice, like, is just Anita Baker was supposed to be the first ex-Miss Coleman. Like, I wanted to marry that. I knew at 5 years old when I heard that voice, I wanted to marry. Like, her song, like, I want to be. There's only one type of man I want to be. I want to be the man that Whitney Houston was trying to steal from Anita Baker, and I want to be the man that Anita Baker was trying to sing to keep at home. And the reason why I believe it is because they both came up during the same time. And all of Whitney Houston's famous songs are about being a side bitch. Like, go back. Don't take my word for it. I'm Your Baby Tonight. Saving All My Love is not a song that you should be playing at a wedding. Saving All My Love is literally about a woman knowing her role and shutting her mouth as a side chick. I'm not opposed to that. Teamwork makes the dream work. I just found out too, Miles. Do you know what people got the whole women love using this? He who findeth a wife findeth a good thing. That's a great biblical. I didn't realize King Solomon was the one who they're quoting. Like, women, y'all are quoting a motherfucker that had 400 wives. Just so y'all know. Just so y'all know what you're quoting now. Like, trust your source, understand the source. But and Anita Baker, all her songs were like apologizing or like just really like just loving this dude. I'm like, man, if I could just make somebody love me like that, like, that is just, who is he? What? Like, but then to find out that Anita Baker got a divorce and that apparently, Whitney Houston was wild before she met Bobby Brown. Everybody thought Bobby Brown turned her out, but she was doing blow and having orgies with chicks way before Bobby Brown. But anyways, though, I know, Adrian, it's not all women, but I will say this. I don't think that I know it's not women in real life. For whatever reason, women have used social media as their makeup. Like, you're just faking shit. You're just putting shit on. Like, knowing good and damn well all y'all ain't balling. All y'all ain't dating rich men. And most of y'all have a Jody on your couch right now getting ready that just drove you to drop you off at work to go use your car the rest of the day. But on that note, if you're a guy and you want to be able to be the man that Anita Baker was singing to and that the man that Whitney Houston was singing to, go to Alpha Male Jacks. AlphaMaleJacks.com is the website that you go to. Get your blood panels drawn. Matter of fact, don't listen to what I'm saying. Go listen to what Christina's saying and go from there. What's going on, everyone? This is Christina, who I'm always talking about with Alpha Male Jacks. Go to AlphaMaleJacks.com and you get a chance to work where the football season is coming up. So I know I'm going to be super busy, and a lot of people who listen to me are super busy. Do I have to come in here, or are there ways that we can be able to utilize the services and not just have to show up?
Okay, so as long as you live in Florida, you don't have to physically come in here. We have for telehealth, so we can do telehealth, and we also have a contract with LabCorp. So if you're close to a LabCorp, we do free labs for all men over 30, and we can have you go to a LabCorp and do a telehealth, and I can get you all set up without ever having to come in here. But you're welcome to come in here too. I'd love to see you in person.
With some of the labs, what are the things that we're kind of looking for in those labs?
Okay, so we're looking for overall wellness. So we're going to do a wellness panel on you. We're going to look at your red blood cell count, your white blood cell count, your cholesterol, your prostate, and also all your hormones. So we do a general male panel lab, and we just get a holistic look at everything and just make sure about your general health and then also specifically your.
Okay. I mean, basically, you heard what she said. Go check that out. On the real, they're the deal. Like, just, go holler at my people over at Alpha Male Jacks, inside the world's greatest cigar lounge, Goodfellas Cigar Lounge, where your membership at All In gets you benefits of this as well. Get you a cigar a month, get you discounts on drinks and all the other kinds of shit. Just come vibe. That's what we do. You know where I'm at. You know where I be. We give them the hookup. Some of the comments, though, y'all were feeling me. Till Dog, you're right. Drew Hill's music was so So slimy and shady. So what do they call it? Such smooth, dirty macking. Like Drake is definitely a dirty Mac. Drake is a terrible person. Was he just step one, walk through the door. Step two, tell him he's not like he was before. You don't love him anymore. I'm like, damn, that's fucked up, man. I was happy you coming home from work, and now you hear that music blasting in the background. Like, they got a whole bunch of other songs. And then and Jodeci is just what makes Jodeci was Future before Future. Like Jodeci made good love songs, but their songs were so toxic. Sorry I left you. I left you crying. like they gonna get you, they gonna beg you to stay. And it's just such great songs, man. My man George put Conway Twitty. I had no idea who Conway Twitty is. Yes, but he was a really dope ass country music singer, dog. It was just funny how they used to always introduce ladies and I really want to do that with a show one day. Just be doing something. Ladies and gentlemen, now introducing Mr. Conway Twitty. And then like he was a smooth motherfucker, man. Stephanie Mills, feel good all over. Oh man, boy. Y'all know. Y'all understand, man. Y'all understand. It's a real thing. Like nobody gives a fuck about preseason games. Like whatever. I don't even know. Oh, tailgate. We got a tailgate. You can just push I think what I did for the other day's show was just so legit that we can just play that shit. And you know, and this is a real thing. This is not fake. We really do have right now. Well, I hope Chris is working on this. So I'm gonna blame Chris. Chris is gonna get all the praise or all the blame. So one of the two. But we have a porta potty group coming in, and they're gonna have air conditioned toilets. And remember, our porta potties were so good. I mean, for the spring for the bowl game, that we had to do pass out in them, and that's how clean they were. I wouldn't recommend doing that in the air conditioned ones, but you can get comfortable. So go ahead and push that real quick. We got air conditioned fucking porta potties with running water so you can wash your hands. You can actually sit on the toilet. We may even have somebody, may pay a homeless guy and get not taking advantage of it, but I'm gonna pay him like eat and get some money. His job is to make sure we go in that bad boy and clean them. Because I want you to feel like you can go take a shit at my tailgate and feel comfortable. Cross your legs. That's basically what we do. Whatever you need. We can pause. I just need you to feel when you know you're at home is when you can take a shit somewhere. And like if you can take a shit at a tailgate, that's an elite. That's elite for $60, man. Actually, you know what we could do? The theme of the chat today was what is a musical group or concert that you would skip a football game for? Just post that in the chat. Oh, Bobby Womack made my favorite Valentine's Day song. If you think you're lonely now, wait until tonight. But that's not what that is toxic. That song was telling the truth though, because today's women need to listen to that. He said you always saying I'm not at home, but then you call when you're dead and broke. You're calling me, telling me about the things that your girlfriend got and that you ain't got, and how I need to go out and get them. And he said, "Well, I can't be at two places at one time." And it sounds like a gospel track, like he's preaching. But he has this song, "I Wish He Didn't Trust Me So Much," where he's singing about a guy, his friend, and him and his friend have the same taste in women. And that he leaves his friend leaves his woman around him, and he's blowing her back out. And this is how I know the barber's role in life in African American male life really raised up to another level, probably in the 90s, because the hairlines were egregious. Bobby Womack's hairline is like all the way in the back of his head during this time, and he's got a widow's peak, so it's even worse. That imagine having the Eddie Munster, but it starts in the middle of your head. It's crazy. But that song, Miles, is a real life situation. Bobby Womack's best friend, if I remember correctly, I get him confused. I'm pretty sure it was Sam Cooke. Best friend was Sam Cooke. At Sam Cooke's funeral, Bobby Womack was wearing Sam Cooke's clothes, and he was with his wife. Not only did Sam Cooke's wife bang his friend Bobby Womack while they were alive and even in death, Bobby messed with Sam Cooke's daughter as well. The trifecta of dirty macking and a terrible person, but he makes amazing music. Amazing music. Like, he is a terrible person. But also we're on the road right now. We have we're just over 2,600 followers. Subscribers on YouTube. We're about like 50 something members. Trying to get to over 3,000 subs. We get to over 3,000 subs, we will be giving away 2 tickets to the FSU LSU football game. We will also be giving away $300. And again, get into the habit of pushing the like button. Right now, we have about, I think, 19 or so in the chat. Hopefully, it's going to continue to grow. So right now, you would only get $5 if we were doing that live show giving away money. But excuse me, $22. If $11, it just bumped up to $11. So make sure you just jam the like button. It helps the algorithm. Also, continue to keep the comments going. Again, what concert would you miss a football game for if you had the chance to get the tickets? And that's just a very interesting discussion. Sometimes we get really interesting discussions on Twitter. Sometimes I just look at people and be like, damn. Also, I coach at Mandarin High School. We recruit a lot of kids at Mandarin High School. And Mandarin High School's got a really good football team. A lot of expectations. My Friday nights have expectations. My Saturdays have expectations. My Sundays have expectations. So it's either going to be a really good year or a really, really bad year. Now, there are 11 prospects in Jacksonville area who are top, and this is a big time place. We happen to have 3 of the best 11 players in the city. 2 of them are corners. One of them is an offensive lineman. The 2 corners, AJ, and every time we deal with nicknames. I just tell people AJ, recruit AJ, recruit AJ. And then they say, you talking about Bell Shorter? I was like, I don't know. Who the fuck is Bell Shorter? And then that find out that that's AJ. AJ's committed to a 3-star that's committed to Penn State. Then there's John. I had no idea. They're talking about, John Mitchell. I've never heard his last name. I just know him as John. But John is a 4-star corner who's committed to Penn State as well. And then Derek Plaz is a 3-star offensive lineman who's committed to the University of Miami. A really good offensive lineman. Really great kids. I'm happy that they're going there. Now, something that I would like you guys to do, and I will post a link in the description, and I think I've already shared it on social media, but Mandarin has a weekly online newsletter that's going to be being shared. If you guys could just please go and subscribe to it and check it out, you'll see all of our top recruits, all of those different things. You'll get a chance to know about what's going on with our season. It costs you absolutely nothing. It gets emailed to you once you subscribe. You'll see the play of the day. The offensive play of the week, the defensive play of the week, all sponsored by DIN Media Group. And there'll be other exclusive things that you could get so you can keep up with the best, one of the best programs in the state, if not the nation. So football season is here. A lot of practices right now. Teams are doing joint practices. The Jaguars are flying up to Detroit, I believe, soon to do a few joint practices with them before they come back next week, and we have our last preseason game. I'm going to tell you, I'm missing the preseason game here at home, not for a concert. Something possibly even worse that people wouldn't even realize that I would miss it for. But my Gator Bowl commitments start next week, and I'm going to the Coke Zero 400. I'm going to go see NASCAR. Sorry, Chip. And my dog Chip says he apologizes to black people or everybody for white people bringing up NASCAR. But I'm going to go see that. Oh, my bad. Yeah, push this. But I did get my credentials, though. Damn, I'll be free. No wonder the algorithm says I'm random. But yeah, so I got my credentials. I got denied first. But then I realized that I got denied because we went for all access, and the Jags was like, the last thing we're giving is this Negro all access to everything. And basically, I really feel like I don't want to be credentialed for FSU because I don't cover FSU. I just happen to cover FSU. But I actually cover the Jaguars and other stuff. So get beat up. I want to do that shit so much. Like as an adult, it's cute when you're a kid, but like as an adult, and those people earn those colors, man. Just same thing I say about the educated gangs, the AKAs, the Deltas, the Alphas, the Qs, and all of them. I'm like, man, y'all earn them colors, man. I ain't trying to go out there and get beat up for some bullshit. But quick drop of the NFL. We'll talk more about that next week as games get played. Probably Friday because there's a Thursday night game. But shout out to we're a fan. That doesn't mean he's gonna play well. We're just fans. I know his coach. I know Denny Thompson very, very well. Per Shane, and this is from the Indianapolis Colts official Twitter. Anthony Richardson has been named the starter for the regular season. Now, this is an Anthony Richardson fan account. This is also a Jags coverage account. And I appreciate the Indianapolis Colts going ahead and giving the Jags the first victory of the season. But how does Anthony Richardson sell? Anthony Richardson is cold. When you got new money, go to the third link, I think, Miles. How does Anthony Richardson celebrate being named the new starter? By dropping new heat, new hotness by my guy Anthony Richardson, aka OVO. I think it's OVO Ant or Gant or GVO Gant. So let's see what Ant show us how you celebrate, how you get down, dog.
Say that's the mission I'm writing until our plats get bigger.
The gang talking to me sounding like some activists. Talk to them every day, they tell me that I'm talented. If I cry after I lose, that mean I'm passionate. Shout out to Speed, paved the way for all this rapping shit. Young nigga trying to turn it up, yeah, I'm on go mode. Never turn my back on my brother, yeah, that's the bro code. Cruising in my whip, like a nigga going slow-mo. Got love in my city, when they see me, they want a photo. As a youngin', I ain't never eat no peas. On the field, I'm a saint, I be throwing like Drew Brees. Worry about no trouble, I ain't gotta worry about no bleeding. For the gang, I'm 10 toes down, I'm standing on my feet.
Well, I don't know how to feel about that. Beat's good. Yeah, I think he could beat, like, I think he got to get more inflection. It's kind of just it's like you got to have you got to entertain. I got to feel it. You too rich, Ant. You too rich. That's what happens when you get money. You ain't poor no more. I love it though. Good. You know what? And there's people bitching about it. You know what, Ant? You're only this age once, man. Live your best life, man. Do what the fuck you want to do. That's way better than I was expecting. Yeah. Like, just my thing is just win ball games. That's all I'm asking you to do. Dalvin Cook went to because this is what's actually, if you go click the next link, because this is what I fully anticipate and looking like after the first Jags game. Again, remember, it's an Anthony Richardson stand account. It's all love here. It's no jokes. But Anthony Richardson with that Colts offensive line and him running around, and what I just saw, is this showing? Like, Anthony Richardson going to come out that bitch first game looking just like that. So, if the football career doesn't take off because the Jags ended week 1, we at least know my guy spits hot fire. So football season is coming around. There is violence in sports. On Sporadics, make sure you go check out my brother Chris Frazier. There's a great podcast. We had Willie Spears on. Willie Spears is a motivational speaker. Willie Spears went and spoke to FSU and kind of went viral. A lot of people show these things. Found out that I know a lot of people that know Willie Spears, and they know him really well. So yeah, but it still didn't change the interview that we did, and it was a really good interview. But what I learned is that Willie Spears might be the loudest motivational speaker ever. And we're just going to play a couple of the clips. It was all good stuff. But, people were asking about James, why were you looking like that, James? Why was your face literally the same kind of way? And I wish I could find my boy Real, who posted it was literally a great clip. It was a screenshot. He posted my face, and I'm like, damn, I was looking like that. One, we record Sporadics very late. It's at 8:00. I've had a full day. I'm fucking tired. And he was actually amped me up. I actually had energy. It's just, I was annoyed, not because he's annoying. I was annoyed because it's 8:30 at fucking night, and now I have a whole bunch of fucking energy, and I got to put boys to bed. I got to try to get sleep for the next day. So go ahead and play Willie and some of the things that he said. And you're going to tell
civilized. You become bougie. And you listen, y'all know this. You cannot have success if you want a discount. They don't sell national championship rings at Ross.
It's a bar right
Nothing
there.
about this comes with a discount. It's not on the clearance rack. It takes what it takes. All gas, no brakes. And so when he told me they watch my civilized, you become bougie.
So like that was really loud. Just so imagine, imagine being like a full hour of just that. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. But this one right here was a little bit different. This was also good. No mas. And this is actually what I believe all Florida State fans, the mindset that you should take. Willie is, again, turn your speakers down a little bit, but the messaging is right. The delivery is right for some. It's just very loud. I don't do loud noises like that. Yo. Nah, it's not that. It's just like, I'm like, yo, my house word, like, what's up? Why are you yelling in front of these white people like that, man? But go ahead.
This Florida State. And I'm not going to say the name of the school, but I told them, I spoke at another school, and they were really good, but it ain't Florida State. Like, this is different. And if you can't handle that, you need to put on somebody else's colors. Because if you don't understand the power of going and gold, then you're in the wrong room at the wrong time. And I told him, I said, brother, this Florida State.
You run that back one more time.
And I'm not going to say the name of the school, but I told them, I spoke at another school, and they were really good, but it ain't Florida State. Like, this is different. And if you can't handle that, you need to put on somebody else's colors. Because if you don't understand the power of going and gold, then you're in the wrong room at the wrong time.
That's how I feel. I was 100% on board with that. That man was preaching some bars. And he had some really good stuff, man. He talked about some, we had a lot of people in common that we knew. There was a lot of energy. You know, not my thing. But I've been honest with this. I've told people about, I've seen Mike Norvell at 6 a.m., 11, 3, 4, 11 p.m. I've seen him all hours of the night. And he is literally the exact same energy level. And though my son would absolutely love to play for Mike Norvell, has said this, I don't know if I could play for Mike Norvell. It is not, I couldn't play for Coach Spears. It's not because they're bad people. It's not because they're not good coaches. I just don't need all of that. Like, that's not how you get to me. Even when I'm speaking and people say that I'm passionate, there's a motivation behind it. It's more like this next guy. I curse, but when I'm speaking in groups, I still curse. I never change who I am completely. I may tailor it to the audience, but I never change who I am. I use curse words as punctuations. It's the last video you uploaded for yeah. I use curse words as punctuation points. Now, people don't, it's probably because of the level in which I play, but I could play for the Jets head coach, and I now can see why the Jets are starting to make a turn in the right direction. And this is where Dalvin Cook just got picked up. And this is a guy who, again, he talks about everything that you want to talk about, the standard, but listen to how intensely he has a group of grown-ass men buying in and paying attention to what he is saying. This is from Hard Knocks.
My light side will just watch the silent tape. All right, you guys know how important to me the silent tape is, because the silent tape represents who the fuck we are. Defense, our style was all over this bitch yesterday, and it was awesome to see because that's our standard. That's who we are. All right. Offense, guys, it was our first fucking opportunity to change the stink that's been in this organization for a very long time on the offensive side of the ball. You can have a Hall of Fame quarterback. You can have two $10 million plus receivers. You can have a reigning offensive rookie of the year. You can have all kinds of skill in the running back room. None of it fucking matters until the big boys up front change who the fuck we are. We as coaches, we as an organization can't want it more than you. And I'm watching that tape all night last night, trying to find something to show that we're fucking changing, and it didn't show, and it was our first op. And I'd love to say we got another practice, but you know what? It's like Sunday. You don't get Monday morning to go redo. It's getting your mind right to represent who the fuck you are every single fucking time you are on the fucking field. We'll fix with footwork. We'll fix all that shit. But you can't fix shit until we know you're giving everything you got. Making it fucking hurt, straining and fighting for everything you fucking got. Because we will go as you go. We proved last year that we're a 7-10 football team with a really fucking good defense and a mediocre offense. That's about what we proved. Flip that fucking shit. We don't get any more second chances.
That's how you talk to guys like me, and that's what gets me to run through a wall. Everybody's different. I know why I'm here for the most part. I know what I chose to do. I need to know if I effed up or if I'm doing good. And if I effed up, I need you to tell me where I effed up at. And I need you to tell me that. That's direct to the point. That's the difference between NFL and college. That's the difference between high school. That's actually the difference between elite and non-elite. The guys that you'll always remember are the guys that know who they are. They know why they know what their purpose is. They know why they take the field. And that's not saying that a lot of these other guys, because I told Willie straight up, he reminded me of a guy who did get me through a point when I first went out on my own in business. E.T. the hip hop preacher. I found out about two people, E.T. the hip hop preacher and C.T. Fletcher at the same time. E.T. was very and C.T. is very loud too, but it's different. It's like he's antagonizing you to not be a bitch. Whereas Eric is giving you some preaching stuff and things of that nature. And it was good. I really like this. Angelo said he needs to speak to the team before the LSU game. We actually talked about it. I think he might be coming to the tailgate. Now I'm going to keep him away from the blow in the strippers because he might be too amped. He might have a heart attack, but he's more than welcome. I think he'll come around the team. I think he said numerous times that Mike Norvell wants him around the team more. So for whatever that's worth, that's the NFL. That's what I love about it. Speaking of the team, I like to go back for points that we made on past shows and just discuss things. Just a little discussion about stuff that happened. If you guys remember, Miles, if you can go find it's on the remember it's what Trent Dilfer said. Trent Dilfer is a guy that I would not be able to trust right now because Trent Dilfer doesn't stand for anything. If you go to remember, it's the YouTube link under that because I thought we did a show. I guess we didn't. But I want us to realize this. Trent Dilfer has absolutely no spine. And I'm going to play this first so that you guys can say, James, you're not picking on Trent Dilfer. No, this is Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer this is what he said. Let's go.
And it's easy for a coach to say, oh man, you're going to jump right into this nickel spot and you're going to play in national televised games every week. And that's really easy to say. And then kid shows up and he's like, well, wait a second. Why am I the third guy? By the way, come try to get my guys. Right. Like, I dare you, Power Fives. I got a pretty big platform that I can step on. Yeah. And if I find you in my kids' DMs, and if I find you talking to high school coaches about my kids, if you're in my roster, I'm going to call your ass out. I'm going to say it by name to the biggest voices in television today, and it's going to make Game Day, and it's going to make Sports Center, and it's going to make – because, by the way, those guys running Sports Center are still my friends. That's right. I still got their So go ahead. I dare you to jump into my roster.
And I dare you.
And I told the American coach the same thing. I said, why don't you guys have the you-know-whats to stand up and say, get out of my roster? I said, here's why, because you want their job.
All right, so let's pause that.
Right.
You said it.
I want this job.
That's right.
I don't want no power. I want this job.
Trent Dilfer said, I dare you to come into my roster and take my guys Power 5. I dare you. If I find out, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to use my friends who still work there. Well, they might not work there now because ESPN had massive layoffs. But the point is, he still know I'm going to use my platform. And he says, I tell other coaches, how dare y'all just sit there and let it happen? Well, let's just look at some new news right here that just happened with the University of Alabama, Birmingham. Didn't have to go too far to find out that the University of Alabama didn't have to go too far. It just went from Tuscaloosa to Birmingham. A few months ago, ex-UAB DB Jalen Key, right after this interview that Trent Dilfer had transferred to Alabama. Now another former Blazer will likely join him at a Power 5 level. Drew Tasmanian Devil, or however the fuck you say his name, who has picked up a few Power 5 offers, is set to be a solid late pickup for Alabama. You just got your roster plucked again by a Power 5 school. You shut up. You don't get to talk anymore. All that big boy shit you was talking it's nothing. Nick Saban doesn't respect you. Nick Saban doesn't care about you. Nick Saban sees some. Nick Saban is saying big bank take little bank. What else you got that I want? And you haven't uttered one word yet. Sad. Preseason football rankings. We did a show on Florida State emphasis. Go check it out. I said, is Florida State is the preseason ranking too high for Florida State? AP Top 25 was released the other day, I think on Monday. They also have released the ESPN. I think both polls have Florida State ranked 8th. Georgia's number 1, Michigan's number 2, Ohio State's number 3, Alabama 4, LSU 5, USC 6. The Nittany Lions of Penn State, number 7, Florida State 8, Clemson Tigers 9, Washington Huskies 10. That slates for this to be a top 10 matchup of prime time LSU versus Florida State. Remember, we get to 3,000 followers. There is going to be a free ticket giveaway, as well as the money. We get to 5,000 followers. We'll give away 2 pairs of tickets to that top 10 matchup game. That puts Florida State as the highest ranked ACC team going in. One of, it looks like 3 ACC teams ranked, 4 technically if you want to include Notre Dame, because Notre Dame is a full voting member of the ACC for some fucking reason. What are your thoughts on the AP poll? I think for the most part they got it right. And what I really like is this. Well, actually, no. Texas A&M should not be ranked 23rd. I have no idea why. But I like how the fact that teams that aren't traditionally in it, like Oregon State, Tulane, that played well last year, are getting in. Kansas State is getting in. It's really good to see them not just go up and just put the same 25 teams in every year because they feel like they should be in it. Last year, my boy Blake keeps bringing up a very solid point. Last year, 15 teams that were ranked in the AP preseason top 25 poll were not in the ending one. Which, if you want to in the comments, which teams do you believe will not be ranked at the end of the season? Not who you think is going to win the national championship, because I already believe we already have slated who's going to win the national championship in this poll. They'll be one of the few teams to be able to go wire to wire national champions. But who do you think won't be ranked in the top 25 at season's end? If you would, please put that in the comments. List. I think people are getting better with lists, though. I used to hate them. But list Twitter is coming up. They have the list of freaks. Top 100 freaks. Florida State has quite a few freaks, and they also have quite a few quite a few players in the top 100. One of those freaks looking like Venom right here. I think that's what his tagline. That's what he should be. Anybody who's good at, like, I know Chris is. I might ask Joe Johnson to do this for me. I want a Jared verse Venom edit, because that's exactly what he looks like with this long ass tongue in this picture right here. Pro Football Focus College says he has the power, speed, and violence combination every team covets off of the edge. That's why he's considered one of the top defensive ends coming out in this year's draft in the nation. Love him. Big No, my boy, who I have got to figure out a way. Nobody gets the impressions that Big No gets. He just tweets everything. Now, Florida has a defensive end named Prince. Whatever. And he had a picture of Jared Verse in his locker, basically stating that, oh, this is who they think the best defensive end in the nation, and it's a rivalry. And so Big No, every time he gets a chance, he just puts up, he's going to run out of poster room in his locker. And because the Jared Verse is also on the Bednarik award watch list. I think the Bednarik is the best defensive lineman in the nation, if I remember correctly. I'm about to go through this list of freaks. It sounds wild when you say it that way, but shout out to the school on the hill. FAMU has 2 defensive backs that are listed on the freak list by Bruce Philman. Bowler and Morgan are 2 of the 3 from HBCUs. So only 3 came from HBCUs. 2 came from the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. They are on the 101 person list. Good for them. Love FAMU getting positive press. Now we just need y'all to kind of like, do your Doug Dizzle on the football field and in academics. The Noles actually have 2 in the top 30. Jared Verse is one of them. They say he power cleans 360 pounds, benches 455, and he runs 21 miles per hour. And Johnny Wilson is another one. He has a standing reach. So when he puts his arms up in the air, he is 8'10", and he has a broad jump of 10.5, which is really impressive considering how long he is. The number one is the guy who basically the guy who basically took Jaheim Bell's job, if you would argue that. He's a wide receiver tight end combo for South Carolina. He is 6'5", 243 pounds, is a freak. But go check out Bruce Feldman in The Athletic. Again, Florida State has 2 players in the top 30 on that list. But Florida State also has quite a few players in the top 100. Jordan Travis is the number 8th ranked player in the top 100 athletes in the nation. He was ranked 29 last year, so he made a significant jump. He is 1, 2, 3. He is the 4th quarterback, the 4th ranked quarterback on this list. Obviously, they have 10, out of the 10. So he's ahead of notable guys like Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels, who he's competing against. We trying to look here for the next one. Damn, he's ahead of him too. So there's some good guys that he's ahead of. Man, they going way. Did I miss Jared Verse? I had to have missed Jared Verse. Johnny Wilson is number 61. Fintrell Cypress is number 65. That's a cornerback. Trey Benson is number 69. Right ahead of another guy that we would all kind of notable guy in Travis Hunter, who is the 70th ranked player. I know Jared Verse is in this. Keon Coleman is 86. He wasn't ranked last year. It's a lot of guys in there. So, oh wow, and we go up against the 100th ranked player in Frank Gore Jr., whose dad just retired not too long ago from the NFL. But Frank Gore Jr. is the running back for Southern Miss. Actually, a really good running back. I had to have missed Jared. No way he's not in the top 100. So rounding out your top 10, those Caleb Williams, Brock Bowers, Marvin Harrison, Harold Perkins, Drake May, Michael Penix, Blake Corum, Jordan Travis right after Jordan Travis. Jared Verse is number 9. So Florida State has 2 in the top 10. It's going to be, this is a lot of expectations, a lot of hype, a lot of reason to be excited. Still not sure why Florida State fans aren't excited yet. A lot of Florida State fans are like, oh, I'm going to temper my enthusiasm. Hey, bro, if everybody else in the nation is celebrating you, it's okay to be excited. It's okay to be a little bit excited. Have a little bit of expectations. Somebody put, honest question, how is Travis Hunter ranked that high when he was injured most of the year? A lot of it, I'm going with Eric. A lot of that is hype. So, it is what it is. I meant to say this. I think Florida State is ranked the right way in that AP, but I hate being ranked high in the beginning of the season. Just rank me middle of the pack and then let us earn. It gives you something to earn, right? Until you know how to be there. Great opportunity right now for everybody to go jam the like button as we move into the University of Florida. University of Florida is they have no reason to be confident, but are confident. And if you look at their fan base, they're doing great in recruiting. They have really rallied behind Murder Mertz. And you know, and I don't know why, but I'm gonna just they got a great recruiting class. This is no hatred, right? All I'm doing is just anyway, Miles, just click the thing. We're just reading the stats, man. I didn't do this. ESPN did this. You know, and you guys I think the positive part about this is that there's no other way to go but up. And Graham Mertz against AP ranked opponents in his career, total QBR 38. That it's not out of like he didn't rank 38th. It's like his QBR total percent is 38. That ranks dead last. Completion percentage 54%. That ranks dead last. Interception percentage, I have never heard it like that before, but 5%, I guess, dead last. He's thrown 5 touchdowns against AP top 25 ranked opponents. He's also thrown 12 interceptions. You know, maybe we got to do, because what the algorithm was telling me is that, you know, James, you got to go a little bit more into detail. There are things that are kind of that might be misinterpreted, that aren't, you know, that don't make sense. So Graham Mertz came from the University of Wisconsin, where I believe they went 6-7, very similar to the University of Florida. And they played one AP ranked team last year. That was The Ohio State University. They lost. Mertz went 11 for 20 for 94 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Now, what I want people to realize is that if Graham Mertz performs better at Florida, bravo. Give Billy Napier his props, right? But I want you to realize that everybody says that this will prove that the Big Ten is a better overall football conference than the SEC. How can you say that, James? Because he lost to Minnesota. They lost to Iowa. They lost to Michigan State. They lost to Illinois. They lost to Ohio State. They lost to Washington State. That was just last season. It's not very good. Now, let's go to see, hey, did he play? He played Iowa. They beat Iowa 27-7. Not last year, in 2021. Graham Mertz in that game stood out. He was 11 for 22 for 104 yards and 1 touchdown. Those are numbers that you really, really want from your quarterback. They beat the number 23 team in the nation, though, so that's one win. They lost to Michigan, 38-17. Graham Mertz was 8 for 15, 115 yards and 1 touchdown. That's some, you know, he didn't lose them that game. The week before that, they played number 8 Notre Dame. Graham Mertz was 18 for 40. When Graham Mertz has to throw the ball, this is what you have to look forward to. This is not me hating. These are literally the stats, and it's the only way we can kind of try to predict until he proves us wrong. He was 18 for 41, 240 yards, and a touchdown, along with 4 interceptions. Notre Dame scored 31 points in the fourth quarter. That's like some hatred at a certain point. Like the game is over. It's kind of like Rocky, throw in the damn towel. Like, shit. The only thing murder about Mertz is the fact that he seems to consistently get murdered. But you know what, though? If y'all like it, I absolutely fucking love it. Flourish. This is what the 247 Sports has to say about the schedules and how they believe the SEC will finish up. It's a stark difference than last year. They believe that the SEC West will have Alabama and LSU basically being tied atop the top with 2 losses apiece. Texas A&M will finish 3rd, which they keep putting them there for some reason, and they keep saying, not us. They have them at 9-3. Ole Miss 7-5. Arkansas 7-5. Auburn 6-6, Mississippi State 6-6, proving that the SEC West is the best conference in football, not the SEC. Oh, we do? Who? Oh yeah, my God, that's what's up, baby. Georgia's 12-0, Tennessee 9-3, South Carolina 7-5, Kentucky 7-5, Missouri 6-6. And Vanderbilt in Florida, rounding up the bottom top two. Whew. I just want Florida State fans to listen to this. Nobody has faith in Florida from a national perspective. The only people who have faith in Florida are some Florida fans. Everybody has faith in UFSU. But you know who doesn't have faith in FSU? FSU fucking fans. Y'all are weird, man. Be prideful, because if it does suck, this is the only time we got to be happy. You know who else has a lot of faith in themselves? The University of Miami fans, but they're in a weird space right now. A year ago, this guy put up, when Kenny Dillingham left us. FSU, it's actually over a year ago. 2 Februaries ago, so before the 2022 season. This is the confidence and the swag that they had. FSU promoted the offensive line coach to OC, while Miami just got the Broyles Award winner. So that's the award for the top assistant in the nation. And he was at Michigan, went to Miami. We all know how Miami's season went last year. There's no need to rehash this. We all know how FSU season went. They went from having expectations of being in a playoff, bringing in a top class, doing all these things, doing it big, to this. And this is sad. Actually, no, I want to read that later. Where's the guy? This is sad. And this guy, I believe, is trying to be the big no of Miami Twitter. He said some takes that it's wild how he got to that logic. But for years, FSU has had the youngest team. So now this is what he tweets. FSU has the oldest team in the country. That fall off next year when all the grown men are going to be gone is going to be crazy. Like, my man just punted this 23 season and is already looking forward to 24. Like, how the hell do you just completely skip the season? Like, you're just already sacrificing this? And they're in a weird space right now. Miami fans went last year picking on Mike Norvell. Mike can't recruit high school kids. Mike can't do this. All you doing is staying in the transfer portal. 2, we have to recruit the transfer portal in order to be good. That's really what you have to do. The fact that they have almost as many 3-stars signed right now as we do overall commitments. No, that's a lie. That's a lie. They have as many 3-stars signed as we have 4-stars, if I remember correctly. And now they're going around saying, well, you know, sometimes you got to balance it out. You can't just have all blue chip guys. You know who that is. It's some wild takes. But if you go to Make-A-Wish Foundation type stuff. Here's what one poster put. This is the University of Miami. The guys who were last year saying we spending money, we can get anybody we want to. We got John Ruiz. Now they find out he's a lying-ass Cuban. So that, you know. What will it take to flip the number 1 wide receiver in the nation to Miami? At minimum, Mario and staff need to keep pressure on them nonstop. I'm sure they do that. They're weird like that. Canes need to look really good in 3 specific games. 3 games that nobody gives them a chance to win, which is Texas A&M, Clemson, and FSU. You have to look good. 2 of those games, they gave up over 45 points. Got to win 10 games. You got to win the New Year's Six Bowl. Offense needs to look balanced and explosive. Need national media to be hyping us. Show our next in line at QB, Ja'Cory or Emery, can play. The staff needs to stay relatively intact. Ohio State needs to look shaky and uncertain. So the number 3 team in the nation has to look bad. Your staff, nobody wants the motherfucker, so they're going to stay intact. Even though your coach keeps firing people. You have a quarterback. You have 2 quarterbacks that nobody wanted, but they got to be able to play. I think you got the national media, and I'll show you in a second. The offense needs to be balanced and explosive. I think it'll be better. In order to go to a New Year's 6 bowl game, you got to go to the ACC championship, something that you've done once in the last 19 seasons. And the one time you went to the ACC championship, you got blown out. And to make matters worse, you would have to hope Clemson, whoever wins the ACC, is going to a college football playoff. Got to win 10 games. That ain't happening, partner. Out of the 3 games you mentioned, A&M, Clemson, and FSU, I think A&M you stand a chance against A&M, but Jimbo knows how to beat UM. The only things that can happen is Mario and staff keep applying pressure. The national media needs to keep hyping you. Because good night. I need someone to lie about me in the way that Josh Pate lies about UM. Josh Pate is actually really good at his job. He does a really good job of just like of discussing whatever. Like, and that's a good if you look at 247 under the UM thing. He does a really good job. It's the last one. He does a good job of explaining away bullshit. And it keeps you engaged. And he sounds intelligent. And that's what a lot of these pundits do. Like, there's one of the guys who beat writers for Florida State. He said Trey Benson reminds him, is not a comparable, but it reminds him of Willis McGahee, Adrian Peterson, Derrick Henry, and I'm trying to remember the other running back. Oh, and Leonard Fournette. 4 completely different running styles. Like, there's only one person he kind of compares to, and that's Leonard Fournette. The other 4, like, bro, like, it's why I suggest that sometimes people don't really know ball. The people y'all listen to don't know ball in a way. They know stats and they know numbers and they know how to talk. They know how to write very well. But as far as knowing ball, I'm not 1,000% sure because, like, you can't. That's like saying Jordan Travis reminds me of Patrick Mahomes, Joe Montana, Randall Cunningham, and Peyton Manning. That's 4 different fucking quarterback styles, man. There's nothing comparable about those guys. But if you got the Josh Pate, let's listen to what Josh has to say about UM and what he thinks UM's going to do this year.
Miami, A.J. Allen had himself a day. That is a transfer running back from Nebraska. Now, you may remember we were down there. Yes, of course you remember. If you watched the show, you remember we did a show from there about 2 months ago. And the day before the show, I went in the facility and I did a really long sit down with the offensive coordinator there, Shannon Dawson. We cut that down to about 30 minutes. So I had Bradley, the associate, go and scan through the whole thing today. And I said, Bradley, find me the part where Shannon Dawson talked about the run game. Bradley, he was really enthusiastic and he walks out of the office. And then he's dragging his feet back in. He says, I'm going to find it. And I said, what are you talking about? And I didn't realize the conversation we had with him about the run game, it did not make the final cut. Well, allow me to share what he said that didn't make the final cut. I asked him, what's the one thing that will change the most about your offense this year? He said, we'll be able to run the ball way better than we ran it last year. I think that offensive coordinator down there knew about guys like A.J. Allen. That's what I think. I think they trust their offensive line a whole heck of a lot more than they did this time last year.
This is what I want people to realize.
Run.
They had really good running backs last year. They had a run-first fucking offensive coordinator. Again, I'm not saying Josh Pate doesn't know ball. What I'm saying is Josh Pate doesn't know ball. Like, we're going to run the ball better. Like, that's what the fuck they did. Jalen Knighton was a really good fucking running back. AJ Allen lost his starting position in Nebraska to a guy who couldn't see the field at Florida State, who's at Nebraska. That was good. Just listen to this. What else does Josh have to say? Just
defense is going to be the biggest potential Achilles heel for Miami this year because they got great pass rush potential. But as Meemaw used to tell me all the time, Joshua, you have to earn the right to rush the passer. If you can't stop the run on early downs, you don't get to pin your ears back on third down. Meemaw would have been an all-world defensive coordinator. She chose another route. She chose nursing, so she never put on the headset. Luckily for you offenses out there. I can see a world where they're good enough in run D, and then they have havoc providers on third down. Or I can see a world where they're giving up ridiculous yards per carry numbers defensively, and you can't realize the full potential of that pass rush. But either way, it is good that we have some guys breaking out offensively. Also, they had multiple wide receivers with explosive plays in the air yesterday.
Right, can we push pause on this real quick? Because we're all in early in season, and at least LSU media is at least entertaining and exploring this truth. If your offense looks explosive early on in practices, is it your offense or is it that your defense just stinks? Good job, Pate. Actually, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing here, Pate. Good job. Bravo. Kudos. You're getting clicks. I appreciate you for that. That's a technique of a good journalist. Get you some clicks. Before we get into some other stuff, let's just talk about really the news that's really hit media the last couple of days. One, I'm going to start off by saying I never particularly liked this movie. In fact, I kind of hated it because none of it seemed realistic, even though I had a teammate of mine who's passed, in Todd Williams, who actually was really the Blindside. Except for no rich white family came in and adopted him and loved on him. Todd literally was an overgrown individual. He used to provide protection for prostitutes when he was growing up, so that he could get paid. I think his parents died. Nobody, and I think he went to a juvenile detention center, and then he had an uncle, a random uncle that signed for him that he could live with him, but he was never there. So Todd had to take himself to school. He had to go there. And the reason why he got a scholarship to Florida State is because Florida State was coming and recruiting, I believe it might have been QB, Anquan Bolden at the time. And he saw Coach Bowden, and he said, and Todd was a scary guy. He said, he probably scared Coach Bowden into a scholarship. And he said, hey, if you do what you're supposed to do, you get in the classroom, and then I will make sure we come back here. And that's a cool story about Bobby is he honored it. I think Todd ended up being drafted, I believe, in the 7th round to the Tennessee Titans, played a few years in the NFL, came back to his hometown and coached high school football, where he was unfortunately found unresponsive in his house when he did not show up to workouts that morning. But great guy. But when I saw all of the stuff for the Blindside, it was a lot of, I don't like, I'm trying to say this so people don't misinterpret what I mean by this, but I don't like white savior movies. And what I mean by that is it's a good story in of itself, but if you look at a lot of things, they have to put somebody, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed lady or a guy that has to come in and save you. But I also really, truly stopped liking it when the guy who was at About said he didn't like it. So we have Michael Orr, his comment. He's always been adamant about why he didn't like it, but I'm not gonna. But when you find out a little bit more context, it makes you not just dislike the movie; it actually makes you hate the people that the movie was about. And yeah, just we'll discuss this.
into a locker room and your teammates don't think it, you can learn created from a child, and going to school in the 3rd grade, getting myself up. First one in the locker room, last one out. And I think the biggest for me is, being portrayed, not being able to read or write. 2nd grade, I was doing plays in front of the school. And I think that's one of the, when you go into a locker room and your teammates don't think you can learn a playbook, that weighs heavy on someone, and you have to understand. I understand that the movie has given me a position. I'm honored to have the position it's given me, but, you have to understand, before I moved in with the family, I was an All-American. That's what I want the generations behind me to see in this book right here, to understand that you don't have to have someone save you and rescue you to go out and be successful. You got every tool in you. And this book right here is a playbook on life. Looking yourself in the mirror when I was 11, 12-year-old kid, telling myself, hey, everyone around.
All right. So even more so, I understand now why. And this is why I always tell people, I'm not saying Michael Orr sold out, because we're going to find out Michael Orr had no say in any of what those people did. But this is the problem with selling out. Like, and he's finding this movie made millions. This movie made that family millions of dollars. It's the Kardashian curse. It's a lot of these things, like, to where you'll put yourself in a position to where you have to prostitute yourself, but then you have to live with that decision later on in life. Like, nobody wants to go around feeling like they're a dummy. I tell people all the time about my story about how I didn't learn how to really read until like the 3rd grade. It wasn't that but I also explained it wasn't that I was dumb. I just didn't have the patience to slow down and learn. I'm very well read now. Like, this movie made it seem like, you teach me the football? Like, until he was a senior in high school, until Sandra Bullock came in and built him up and did all these things. And it's wild because the story would have sold by them just saying they took in this All-American kid who didn't have much and helped maybe structure his life to where he could be the best type of player. It was some pseudo-feminism brought into that motherfucker, like, to where they had to make it seem like, oh, the woman wore the pants and then she was just this pit bull of a woman that came in and had to straighten out this little colored boy who wouldn't have anything. He wouldn't have known how to go to Ole Miss if it wasn't for these good old white people.
I didn't think about the fact that, this could affect your NFL career or how your teammates look at you in the locker room. You can still get roasted.
Right.
Or trusting you to be a smart lineman.
Yeah. It's the and that's the part. The crazy part is people already think football players are dumb.
Right.
In particular, black football players, which I can be honest with you, that stereotype is really off, because learning a playbook is basically like learning another language in a very tough environment. I understand a lot. There's always Hollywood license. And there's nothing wrong with Hollywood license. But boy, when you actually get into the actual story, this isn't like making Alexander Hamilton black. This isn't like making what's that Snow White? What's the one? This isn't what's the movie they just had where all the people were getting upset? A Little Mermaid. This isn't making Little Mermaid black. This is terrible. These are terrible fucking people. Here's a guy. How about this? You're 18 years. You think for most of your life that a family adopted you. They actually make the entire movie about how they adopted you. You think that that's your new mommy and daddy. To find out when you're a grown-ass man that the only thing that they made you do when you were 18 years old is sign over a conservatorship. That's basically, they made you Britney fucking Spears. If you can't see the evil in that, man, ooh, goddamn, you might need to look. Don't you go to church? Don't you spit no scriptures around me if you can't see the fucked up part in that. They took Orr into their home as a high school student and never adopted him. Instead, less than 3 months after Orr turned 18 in 2004, the petition says the couple tricked him into signing a document making them his conservators, which they gave him the legal authority to make business deals in his name. The petition alleges that they used their power conservatives to strike the deal that paid them and their actual children millions of dollars in royalties from an Oscar-winning film that earned $300 million, while Orr got nothing for his story that would not have existed without him. In the years since, they have continued calling the 37-year-old their adopted son and have used this to promote their foundation, as well as the wife's work as an author and a motivational speaker. This is not just taking fictional license. They literally took a little boy and used him. That's what happened. Like, there's no other way around it. That's not creative license. That's not nothing. What's wild is you took his story and didn't even break him off a little bit of crumbs. If somebody did that to you right now, some of y'all are crying about politicians who have absolutely no impact on your life because they made some kind of deals, but you cry about that. It has no effect on your life. Imagine if somebody literally stole from you, actually stole from you. Your story. Now, I know some of us in this chat don't have lives that are interesting enough for anybody to steal it. I know for me, I would be very mad. But that's just me. And what bothers me is that they pried on him. Do you know when he found out that he wasn't adopted? When he was 37 years old. This year is the year that he found out that he wasn't adopted. 20 some odd years later. You got it off. That blacked out. You find out that you were never fucking adopted by this family whose whole identity is based upon them adopting you. That's insane. The whole movie was about adopting a kid and making him into something. And you never adopted him. That's the claims, though. And what's wild, what's crazy is this. That's the claims. But the beautiful thing about it is there's paperwork. So what's going to end up happening in all of this is Michael Orr is going to either be the biggest liar ever, and I'm going to get an opportunity to roast him, or we're going to find out that these people better have saved some money. It went off again, Mouse. That's not FSU. No, hold up. Can you put it up there? I want that to be put up there because sometimes he's not if he was a member, I wouldn't put it up there. But I got to let people see this because nobody's going to believe that somebody actually typed that. It's a fictional movie loosely based on actual events designed to sell tickets. What that loosely, not by a fucking string. It's like loosely based is literally not truly like embedded. Like this is why I always question people. Like loosely based on what? You literally said, like, you could have, like, you loosely based. Oh, we had this 18-year-old sign a conservatorship. I get it. You can't say that. But you could have just said you took him in. Coaches do that all the time. They don't say we adopted this guy. We don't say he was a retarded individual that could barely read and write up until then. We didn't say that he was already heavily recruited and an All-American before we met him. That's far from loosely based. That is just all fiction. And the crazy part is, it's not just the movie. It's the fucking book that the movie was based on. It's all the other things. It's the fact that their entire life post this has been about being the family that brought in the special needs black kid that could only play football, that nobody liked, that the whole town of Mississippi or wherever they were from completely shunned him. Until this, and she doesn't even. What's wild is she don't even look like Sandra Bullock. That should be the crime in all of this. Sandra Bullock is attractive. Ain't nothing attractive about that lady. That's the real crime. That's what I'm mad about. But what's the wildest part in all of this, though, is if you click on, I think it's the one before the last one on this, Miles. That's is in the movie. In the movie, they told on themselves. In the movie, the sister was being the sister. It's wild. Because this is exactly what they did. You can say it's loosely based on fiction. Fine. That's the movie. In reality, this is not loosely based on fiction. This is what happened. Play what the lady said. This is hilarious when you like really just break it down.
The NCAA fears that with your recruitment, a door might be opened. That boosters from lots of schools in the South will become legal guardians of young athletes without means and funnel them to their alma maters. I'm not saying I believe it. I'm not saying I don't. But there are many people involved in this case who would argue that the Tuohys, they took you in. They clothed you. No. They fed you. They paid for your private education. They bought you a car and paid for a tutor. All as part of a plan to ensure that you play football for the University of Mississippi.
She like, listen, man. It's kind of like everybody, and I'm not going to get into that because, I tell y'all who probably going to be my favorite president of all time. Will probably be 4 or 5, but not for a lot of reasons why a lot of y'all think. A lot of y'all believe that you can get hit with 91 RICO charges and not have anything to do with anything. Like you're just innocent. You would never use that same logic for any other aspect or any other person than what you're trying. The people who defend the Tuohys right now, you would at least say something don't smell right in that toilet. Maybe we should flush it. You can always say we wait for more facts, but you can say right now that this looks pretty bad. And I think that's one of the cognitive dissonance that Americans sometimes have is the lack of the ability to be like, hey, I have faith that they're probably good, but this looks bad. It's kind of like Florida fans with Graham Mertz. You can have all the faith you have in your team in Graham Mertz, but you can at least look at the stats and say, I don't know, this looks kind of bad right now. I don't see us being much better than what we were. But if you believe that, I got oceanfront property in Iowa that I would love to sell you. That being said, trying to get into to wrapping up some of this stuff right here. I'm going to go on the other side of this because I'm not even saying that man, what time is that saying, Miles? Damn, so much stuff to get into. It was a crazy couple weeks. If you go to the last part, and we'll end with this, because I think this is funny. I don't believe that the Tuohys or whatever their name is, that I think that was pure capitalism. And that's American as apple pie. I just think it's fucked up. I would think it's fucked up for anybody. If they did that, who's the fast white boy we were talking about the other day? From Iowa. Damn, I forgot his name. Riley Moss. If there was done, even his name is a little. If you just said somebody's name was Riley Moss, you wouldn't think of him. If they did it to Riley Moss, I would be upset. And there's a time and a place where sometimes lines get blurred, and I think people's intentions do truly get messed up. And because our world is the way it is, sometimes it fouls things up that are innocent. Now, first, before I even get into this, I'm going to say I actually want to buy one of these t-shirts. That being said, I kind of understand why people made the assertion that they made. But I also don't believe that anything nefarious was done in this. Tennessee minor league baseball team pulls their new Nike t-shirt after fans noticed it looks like a racial slur. A minor league baseball team in Tennessee is scrambling for a new t-shirt design after some fans thought that they saw a racial slur in their most recent design. Actually, you might want to, because I want people to really get a good look at this. Can you take me off the screen? Oh, there we go. Yes. The minor league Chattanooga Lookouts recently put a new Nike shirt riffing off the last 5 letters of their city and making the 2 O's into a pair of eyes, but some saw a word other than nougat glaring back at them. Many others felt it was reaching, saying people misunderstand that nougat is a longtime nickname for the team, and the 2 eyes is the logo representing the Lookouts, which is the name of the team. In response to the criticism, the team has decided to stop selling the t-shirts. It's actually like I really want one of these shirts. I don't think anything racist was meant by this. I can see where had to, like, you would think somebody would mess up, but somebody was like, hey man, we just put 2 eyes there because eyes are circles. But it's also eyes, the letter E. So, but they could have put a black person in front of this and said, well, we're talking about we're really the niggas. Neegus. But nougat, I can see Chattanooga, Tennessee. I can see, I'm not from around those parts, so I don't really know if they call Chattanooga, Tennessee nougat. But I can see that happening. I can see that happening. I can also see them being the Lookouts. I can see the eyes because now you're looking out.
Yeah, that's the first thing I had no idea about that.
I can also see just anytime, I think a lot of people are just prepared. Anytime they see an N with a G and an A on it, they're like, they're prepared. So again, that one right there, I feel bad for these guys that they got to go through some bullshit, but it is what it is. Now, this next one, I hate this with my pure being. And the reason why I hate it is because there is real racism that happens. There's a young man who got arrested and detained who probably will have a bad idea with police officers. And that's a guy who's been arrested and detained many times. I can see, like, that 12-year-old was taking out his trash and somebody said he fit the description of a black male at 12 years old. And they literally, without trying to get his father any identification, they literally held him there. Gunpoint, whole bunch of different police officers. Kid was terrified and frightened. This shit, though, this person claiming racism is why people don't believe, like, people get tired of hearing that shit. I think just like we get tired of hearing people say, misinterpreting white privilege, misinterpreting a lot of different things, I think it kind of does belittle real issues that go on in life. This one being the most recent one. So if you can go ahead and pull that video up, Miles. I'm going to read what the lady said. I think it's a lady. I'm not bad. That might be sexist or something. I don't know. It could be one of them. It's a lot of ladies. This racist Target employee called the police on us for dancing in Target, so we danced anyway. I hate this. Push play. If I saw you doing this in Target, I'm calling the police on you. So I'm here with you, white people. That shit is annoying. Like, just push play on this. Was it good dancing? Was it like, do this? I'm so happy. That man did what we all want to do. Walk right through them, like. Oh, I'm with you, man. Don't let them get famous on this. So they had a camera person. I hope they took them in.
If we all just start and multiple people record, they can't block it.
Wait a minute, did they like even run a practice or something like that? Wait a minute, hold on.
Can you move to be
Damn, I thought that was somebody I knew. All right, man, push pause on that. I hate these people. I'm with you. It reminds me of this Jeezy quote. I swear I hate N-words. I should be a freaking... This is so aggravating. I hope that all these people had to go dressed just like that to central booking. And they put them in with somebody, with a serial killer who just killed just killed some people who look like them. Like, it's not so much that I want anything bad to happen to them. I just want them to fear so they stop doing stupid shit. By the way, Target has a clear policy prohibiting this kind of behavior. It is not right to assume that a Target employee is racist because they are following the store's policy and then they posted the policy. Just don't go dancing and stop trying to. In a world where everything has to be content, just chill out, man. Vibe. You could have danced and you could have done this exact same thing in the streets.
Yeah.
Why did you? And it would have had the same impact. Why did you have to do it inside of Target? I'm just trying to get school supplies for my kids. I'm just trying to go get a pair of quick basketball shorts so I can go hoop at LA Fitness. I'm just trying to get the popcorn that smells very, very good at Target all the time. Sometimes the fastest Starbucks is in Target. You have literally just inconvenienced my day. I would immediately turn into Uncle Ruckus if I worked at this Target right here. I just don't. Again, it bothers me because, again, Target might have had a real racial incident that happened that day. But right now, we're going to give Target a pass for at least 6 months right now because they had to deal with this bullshit. This is sometimes it's not racism, it's stupidity. And unfortunately, sometimes stupidity happens to have a color on it. So, well, I guess that can make me into this because maybe people will compare me to Sage Steele. So, when you can't go left, always go right. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to end with this note. And I told you people, if I ever feel like I need to make more money, and I might be close to this. Damn, I want to talk about this thing with Usher too. Sage Steele is now gone from ESPN. Sage Steele is one of those women that's just really pretty when you see them. Yeah. She's built like an ironing board. Oh, really? Yeah, but I saw her which is ironic because Sage Steele shuns culture every time she gets an opportunity. If you go all the way up and say when you can't go left, go right. Sage Steele was trying to get into the Rick Ross shoes and suits party that we were at the Super Bowl. Sage Steele, who once told us to praise her white husband for him sacrificing to choose a black woman to marry, only to see him divorce her and take half her money because she was the breadwinner. So I'm saying, sisters, when y'all always complaining about us. Now, also, if you post this picture right here, this is basically what got my first Twitter handle, the life penalty, before Elon. No. I didn't say anything. It was a picture. It was a video like this. But the picture, if you just show the picture, this is how you can get man, woman, or child. This is how you get punched if you do this to me. If you look at what the guy's doing to Sage's hair. My hair is not to be touched. I don't know. I've learned a lot more about y'all during social media age than I would like to. A lot of y'all don't wash your hands, nor do you bathe. I don't wash my hair every day. I don't want my hair smelling like salmon because you decided that you wanted to touch my hair and get experimental. But Sage Steele is like one of those type of black people that says it's okay, you can touch it. But Sage made this announcement, life update. Having successfully settled my case with ESPN Disney, I have decided to leave so I can exercise my First Amendment rights more freely. I am grateful for so many wonderful experiences within the 16 years, and I'm excited for the next chapter of my life. But before we do that, let's say when people post that, they typically are saying that maybe somebody's infringing on their rights to free speech as a politician. But get on this video because there's always Sage Steele is now saying that she don't want to stick to sports, right? And she wants to freely talk, and she couldn't do that at ESPN because ESPN prevented her. But push this on video real quick, and let's see what Sage Steele says when people don't agree with her opinion about, they're talking about politics. How about that? How about you take your own fucking advice and just stick to sports chick. All right. On that now, shout out to Disney winning their case against Ronnie D, which I told y'all. I don't know why Ron decided to go up against the mouse. The mouse got a lot of power, pulls a lot of weight, but he's pulling out and he's hoping that they pull out too. But I don't think they're going to drop their lawsuit for the state of Florida to make it tough for the next guy. So Ron, you just fucked up the Bloods. Probably getting a chance to win another election at governor because you decided to out punch your coverage. But on that note, I appreciate everybody chilling out on Wednesday. Had a decent crowd, not as much as Monday. Make sure you jam that like button. Make sure, I'll probably do a quick impromptu thing because Usher is a fucking savage and Usher deserved to get his ass whooped by Chris Brown now. I believe that. Yeah. They made a video, bro. Kiki and Usher.
She's not married anymore, right?
Yeah, but they made a video and a song called Boyfriend.
That's so corny. I hate celebrities.
Just that part. On that note, man, I appreciate you guys chopping it up with me. We will see y'all next time.